Lynne Sladky, AP. Miami Dolphins defensive end Robert Quinn, 94, goes after Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Cody Kessler, 6, for a sock during the second half at an NFL football game, Sunday. Dak. 23, 2018, in Miami Gardens, Florida. AP photo, Lynne Sladky, org XMIT, HRS114 The Cowboys' defensive line is in a state of limbo, but help is on the way. The team reportedly acquired former first-round pick Robert Quinn from the Miami Dolphins and agreed to a new one-year contract with the pass rusher. The NFL Network's Ian Rapoport reported the Cowboys will likely send a late-round draft pick to the Dolphins for Quinn. Here are 10 things to know about the Cowboys' newest addition. The basics: name, Robert Quinn. Height, 6'4", weight, 257 pounds. Position, defensive end. Born May 18, 1990, 28, in Ladson, South Carolina. The move fills a need for the Cowboys' Sports Day's David Moore wrote on Wednesday. The Cowboys' defensive line needed some help. David Irving, a free agent who had 7 sacks in 8 games for Dallas in 2017, announced his retirement on Instagram earlier this month while smoking what appeared to be marijuana. He was suspended for violating the league's substance abuse policy shortly before. The NFL also suspended former Cowboys second-round pick Randy Gregory indefinitely in February for violating the same policy. It was his 4th suspension since entering the league in 2015. The Cowboys do have Pro Bowl defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, but he and the team are at an impasse over a new long-term deal, Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones said earlier this week. The team franchise tagged Lawrence for the 2nd consecutive year, which prevents him from hitting the free agent market and equates to a one-year deal for $20.5 million if Lawrence chooses to sign and play on the tag. Quinn will provide a boost of talented certainty for a defensive line that currently sits in flux. He had an elite 3-year run. Quinn had one of the better 3-year runs for pass rushers earlier this decade. From 2012 to 14 he recorded 40 sacks. His 19 sacks in 2013 led the NFC, resulting in a 6-year, $66 million extension. For perspective, the Cowboys haven't had a player with that many sacks since DeMarcus Ware recorded 19.5 in 2011. Quinn was ranked 13th in the NFL's top 100 in 2014. Dez Bryant was the highest-ranked Cowboys player on the year's rankings, coming in at number 25. His sack numbers have tapered off since then. The numbers have dropped off. He appeared in a total of 17 games from 2015-16 after suffering multiple different injuries, including illness, a concussion and a back injury that required surgery. He was mostly healthy the last 2 seasons, recording 15 sacks in 31 appearances, but he hasn't been able to get back to the level of what he showed earlier this decade. He was told he had a week to live. When Quinn was in high school he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Doctors, according to Quinn, told him he wouldn't make it out of the hospital, let alone play football again. I don't know if you were ever 17 and told you wouldn't make it out of the hospital in a week, he said a year ago. According to the Miami Herald, it kind of messes with you a little bit. He reportedly had surgery to reduce the tumor's swelling. There haven't been any complications since, something he addressed on a conference call with Miami reporters after he was traded from the Rams to the Dolphins. I get a checkup on it once a year and make sure it's not doing anything crazy, Quinn said, via the Miami Herald. It's been almost 11 years. So it's much a checkup to make sure it's stable. Nothing crazy going on up there. I mean, it is your brain. So if that shuts down, everything pretty much shuts down. So going on 11 years, so hopefully it has found its resting place and leaves me alone. He was involved in a payment scandal while in college. Quinn was a star pass rusher at North Carolina, but he and 2 other Tar Heels missed the entire 2010 season for accepting cash and travel accommodations that led to NCAA sanctions against the school. 5 people were also criminally charged for violating the state's sports agent law, according to USA Today. The school also sent letters of permanent disassociation to him and the other 2 players, Marvin Austin and Greg Little, in 2013. The letters dated November 15 prohibit the players from contacting current UNC athletes, bar them from the Keenan Football Center or other campus athletic facilities, and prohibit them from providing recruiting or financial assistance for athletics. USA Today wrote, in 2013. In 2017, a Georgia sports agent named Terry Watson pleaded guilty to violating the state's law, according to the news. Watson reportedly acknowledged giving nearly $24,000 to get Quinn and the two other players to sign with his sports agency while still in college. The Cowboys had a chance to take him once before the Rams, still in St. Louis at the time, selected Quinn with the 14th pick in the 2011 draft. The Cowboys could have taken the North Carolina pass rusher 5 picks before the Rams did, but Dallas instead took offensive tackle Tyron Smith out of USC. It's safe to say that decision has paid off for Dallas. Smith has been named to the Pro Bowl the last 6 years. He's also been a first-team All-Pro twice. He's fast. John Owning, a special contributor to the Dallas Morning News, tweeted earlier this month that the Cowboys needed to find an edge rusher with speed to pair opposite of DeMarcus Lawrence. Quinn fills that need. Coming out of college, Quinn ran a 4.59 40-yard dash at his pro day, according to Pro Football Talk. He also had a short shuttle time of 4.29. How does that speed translate to the field 8 years later? Owning shows you below on one of Quinn's sacks from last season. Great pass rushers not only get after the quarterback, but they force fumbles, too. Quinn has showed the ability to be one of the best at it. In 2014, he had 7 forced fumbles, which would have tied former Kansas City Chiefs pass rusher Dee Ford and Houston Texans star J.J. Watt for most in the NFL this year. Quinn hasn't gotten to that level since, but he's been consistent, averaging nearly 3 forced fumbles per season. The Cowboys had 14 total forced fumbles last year, according to Pro Football Reference. Linebacker Jalen Smith, and defensive linemen DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory tied for the team lead with 2 each. Quinn could be a boost in that department. Old friends, the Cowboys will host both of Quinn's former teams next year when the Dolphins and Rams come to it. Quinn spent 1 season there and 7 with the Rams. On Twitter, @JoeJHoyt.